Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. There's a little bit of interesting news about an African card that's going to be on in Nigeria. It is on December the 19th, and it's actually a joint promotion between Queensbury, Amir Khan Promotions. Amir has already done some promotional work in, I believe, in Nigeria, certainly in some African countries anyway, and Balmoral Group Promotions. Who I'm not that familiar with, Balmoral Group Promotions. But from the British point of view, the most interesting thing is that two British heavyweights are going to be on the card. It's actually going to be a triple header of heavyweights, but we only know two of the people who've been actually, signed up for it. One is Lawrence OKOLIE, who was last seen. He was actually the WBC's number one contender, believe it or not. I don't really know why, but he is. And he was last seen outpointing Kevin Lorena. He ripped a bicep, a torn bicep, and the fight was dull. And OKOLIE historically has a very poor record for exciting fights. He's not in that many, but he does score some knockouts occasionally. He does when he's on it. He's a good fighter when he's fit, healthy, and he's rocking and rolling. Yeah, he can fight a bit. But he won this victory over Kevin Lorena. That was back in July, and he obviously has African, I think Nigerian roots. And he says he's recovered now of that ripped bicep. So he's looking forward to getting back in the ring. An opponent hasn't been finalised yet. He's 31 now. He's former cruiserweight champ. He's got that number one status. Weirdly, I mean, God knows what's happening with the WBC. Ajit Kabayel is their interim champ. Why they even need an interim champ? I don't know, because Usyk's got their belt. There's no need for an interim champ. We have a current champ. We have an active champ. But anyway, a video for another time. And the other British heavyweight who's going to make an appearance is David Adelaye, who's 14-2 with 13 KOs. So he's got a bit of pop to him. He's a former British champ. Recently took on Filip Hrgović. Did trouble Hrgović in a few rounds. I think it was the 8th round. He had him, rocking and reeling. And what is he, 28, I think now, David Adelaye. But he had Hrgović in a bit of trouble. But on the other hand, the big Croatian did win the fight. I mean, I definitely thought he won that fight. But to go the distance with Hrgović, that's not bad. It's not bad. He was knocked out earlier in his career by Fabio Wardley. Okay, fair enough. Wardley hits very hard and is a spiteful hitter. Adelaye, he's unproven at world level, although he did go the distance with Hrgović. I don't think that necessarily means you're world class, but he's certainly European level, I would say, and he has been a British champion. So that's good. That's good stuff. I think probably the third heavyweight that's been mentioned is. Well, I don't know whether this has been finalised, but it's an unbeaten fighter called Emmanuel Odiase. And he fought on the last Nigerian show promoted by Amir Khan that was headlined by Brandon Glanton and Marcus Brown. And Glanton scored an upset by knocking out Brown, a former world title challenger. Actually, Glanton, no. He fought Chris Billam-Smith when Arthur Smith had lost the WBO title. But Glanton is a good, tough, honest, almost like a Benny Briscoe type. Goes forward, very, very physically strong, and he outlasted Marcus Brown, who was outworking him, and eventually knocked Brown out. He forced him to quit, I think, after six rounds. So the African scene is growing, really, really growing, and I think, Amir Khan deserves a lot of credit. See, I think Amir Khan's professional boxing record is very underrated. I don't think he ever ducked anyone. He chased after glory and he got flattened a few times, but I think he's got a lot of good wins on his record, and everyone says, oh, he had a China chin, and they take the piss. But, he did a lot of good things in his career, and he's also doing a lot of good things in the promotional world. And there's no doubt about it that Africa, this continent, which has got, an awful lot of boxing talent has come from African roots. Why hasn't it been explored? I'm almost tempted to use the word exploited by promoters in the past to get, major events on there. Of course, we know about, the Rumble in the Jungle, and there have been exceptions, but there's never been a consistent building of a boxing scene over there, and yet boxing is very popular in Africa. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But like I say, December the 19th, there's going to be this triple header. Emmanuel Odiase, I don't know who's going to fight. Adeleye, from a British point of view, you're talking Adeleye and you're talking Lawrence OKOLIE against different opponents. But let me know what you think. What do you think of this? You're going to be watching it? Does it interest you? As it's a Queensberry promotion, it will probably be on pay-per-view, because virtually everything Queensberry do is pay-per-view. It's pathetic, really. And even more pathetic is the fact that it's on DAZN, who once hailed themselves as the death of pay-per-view. What a fucking joke that is. Oh, Christ, I'm glad I haven't got their nerve in my tooth. I tell you what. Fucking hell. Anyway, comments below. Thanks a lot for watching. If you like the video, hit the like button and please subscribe to the channel. Much appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll get you later. Bye for now.